Love in Action, Transforming Lives and Community. This is our mission at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. And I want to invite you into loving action in this month of November as we continue our conscious action discussion through the practice of loving service, not just service, but loving service. So if you are in the Albuquerque area, I invite you to come get involved. Wednesday evenings in our interfaith food outreach. Join us on Sundays in community and spiritual practice. Come get inspired, but come build community. This too is loving action. And I invite you to do it with community so that you can have the greater experience of the divine as life itself.
So that Teresa of Avila quote that Carissa shared with you, I want to read it again. And this time I want to change the word from God. And originally it was written with the language of Christ. Christ has no body on this earth but yours. I'm going to read it now with the word love. And I want you to close your eyes and see if it hits different. Love has no body but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes with which love looks on the world with compassion. Yours are the feet with which love walks to do good. Yours are the hands with which love blesses all the world. Yours are the hands. Yours are the feet. Yours are the eyes. Yours are love's body. Love has no body now but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes with which love looks compassion on the world. Love has no body now on earth but yours. Hits different, right? But we know that love is AKA God, right? God is AKA love. So when we really allow that truth to sink in, that we really are the way love gets here. We are the way that love gets expressed. We are the way that the divine finds its way into the manifest universe through our living. There's another quote that's really famous in the Science of Mind tradition, founded by Ernest Holmes, that there is one life, that life is God's life, and that life is my life now. There is one life, that life is God's life, and that life is my life now. So let's change the word in there. There is one life, that life is love's life, and that life is my life now. It hits different. When we really recognize, I think when we use sort of the spiritual language, we find ourselves separate from it, even though in theory and logic it makes sense, right? I teach an incarnational spirituality. That's what this is, this whole idea that there is one life, that life is God's life, that life is love's life, and that life is my life. Ernest is saying very much what Teresa of Avila was saying. That life of the divine has its way into the material world through my life, through your life, through your movements, through your actions, through your expressions, through your creative way of living, right? There's a song we're going to sing later that says, your life is art. That is the divine creating life itself through your living. But I think we have to take it out of theory and bring it to the ground. And that word love, I think, helps us do it. If we can really understand that this thing that we call the divine, that we call Allah, God, creator, absolute intelligence, whatever you want to call it, is love. is the animating force of life itself. And that animating force called love is the thing that is moving our inhales and exhales, that is moving the blood through your veins right now, this animating force of goodness. And that when we align ourselves with it, when we make ourselves one with it consciously, the natural result of that is loving action. It's just science. When we understand ourselves to be made of love stuff, to be the way love moves, we will move as love. And that's what service really is about. So I want you to take a moment right now with me. Close your eyes. Those of you watching online, I invite you to do this at home. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. And if not, just gaze down. And I want you to think of a time when your hands did the work of love. Maybe you rocked a baby, burped them after a meal. Maybe you dug in the earth to plant food for your family. Conjure up that time you did the work of love with your hands. Now think of a time you did the work of love with your feet. I'm reminded of Lucille Ball and her bestie stomping grapes. Getting to dance it out at one of Cliff's headphone dance parties. And think of a specific time when you looked out into the world and your gaze was a gaze of love. Really easy to do right now with the fall colors. And I want you to feel what it feels like in your body to be this channel for love, to be the way that love shows up. And that when you are consciously connected to that action as the life of God, the life of the divine, using your hands and feet and eyes, your very presence is a prayer for everybody you come in contact with. And I want you to feel what that feels like in your body. All right. And as you bring your attention back, I want to share a reading with you from Oriah Mountain Dreamer's book, The Invitation. And if you don't know it, go know it. It's an amazing book. From a piece of the poem she wrote called The Invitation, she says, "It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing." She goes on to say in this chapter on longing, "I have faith in longing wherever it finds me, and often it finds me at unpredictable and inconvenient moments. It's like a door that suddenly opens, and I'm never prepared. There's no preparation for the way it takes me and leaves me, for the fierceness of the ache. It is the voice of the parts of myself I have left behind in the deals I have tried to make with life, trying to trade pieces of my dreams for promises of safety. Some mornings, I take 2 minutes to sit in my backyard and offer a prayer for the day, even though part of me is anxious to begin the tasks lined up before me. Getting my sons up, cooking breakfast, returning phone calls, throwing a couple loads of laundry into the washer, sending out a mailing. But just for a moment, I sit in the fresh, cool sunlight of the early morning, the breeze moving my hair, my bare feet moist in the grass, and I am surprised by a wave of longing that sweeps over me. It is an unmistakable ache. It makes my breath catch, my lips whisper, I want, but I can't put a name to it. I have to wait, open and hungry, and it comes and takes me, this longing. And I remember what I thought I could never forget. This longing seduces me with promises embedded in the cells of my body. It whispers to me of rest, of deep connection to myself, of the ache of another, of living faithful to the sacred. This is why I want you to connect to being the hands and the feet and the eyes and the body of love. Because every single one of us knows about that ache, that longing, that something more that is available in this life that is far greater than the empty calories of modern society, our screens, our streaming, our scrolling, our prepackaged foods. There's something in us that aches and longs for the greater, for the reality of the divine, and we want to feel it. We want it to be more than words on a page. We want this love, this divinity, this greater reality, this absolute intelligence to be alive through our aliveness. And like she says, it's hard to name this thing. But this is why I'm asking you to do the spiritual practice of service this month, is so you can get back in touch with this aliveness that is in you, so that you can slow down enough to meet the need that you find in front of you and know yourself as kin with whoever has the need. And allow yourself to be the place that love moves. Yes, the need will get met. But more importantly, you will become more alive as love. You will begin to satiate and nourish your own longing. The things we are feeding ourselves with that are absolutely not satisfying, right? I remember a time when I was in my 20s or 30s, and a really good friend of mine was going through like 87 breakups a month, right? Like he was just out there on the streets. He was just dating and sure that he was looking for marriage. No, he was not. No, he was not. But finally one day I said to him, would you stop eating Twinkies and order the steak? You think you want Twinkies, but you keep telling me what you really want is steak. Stop eating the Twinkies. Do you get the metaphor? We are longing for nourishment. We are longing for a satiated experience of our own aliveness. Sometimes we say we're looking for meaning or purpose, right? But I think what we're looking for is the felt experience of that love, that capital L love, to move through our bodies and our lives and our expression. And yet we keep eating Twinkies, trying to find it. We keep doing this, right? Trying to find it. We keep filling our bank accounts. We keep looking for the next right lover. We're divorcing, we're marrying, we're divorcing, we're marrying. We're trying to get satiated with love. We are trying to feel fulfilled. And yet Teresa of Avila and Ernest Holmes are saying, your life is God's life. Everything you've ever needed or wanted to experience is literally animating the breath in your body right now, and you are unsatisfied. You are feeling an unmet longing, and something is not enough. This is why we serve, so that we can get in the infinity loop that I talked about a week or two ago, and remember our faith in what is true about our holy nature and what is possible to meet that longing through the activity of service. And that will help us come back alive to our own nature. It might even be uncomfortable to be that alive again in our own bodies, to awaken in consciousness to the truth of ourselves. But service can do that for you with intention. I want to share with you from a Hindu teacher. Told his disciple, do not ask how much you can give. Ask how much love you can place in each act. So it isn't really about the activity. It is about how awake to the love that you are can you bring to the activity. Because the solace you might be seeking, the salve for your soul in these times, could be handled in that intention, right there. How much love can you bring to the table? Your everyday activities could suddenly become sacraments. Washing dishes, even though your stinky kid left a pile in the sink. And you could be at the sink being, I love this kid to the moon and back. Let me wash another dish. Every act becomes holy. These hands become holy instruments. Your very body becomes a living prayer. Just because you decide to be the place where love shows up. The other thing you need in this spiritual practice is to be available. Be interruptible. Right? Araya was saying that, she was almost pulled out of her 2-minute meditation in the backyard because she was anxious about all the tasks of the day. How many of us worry that we don't have time to sit? We don't have time to be still and pray. We don't have time to stop the car and see what that person over there needs on the sidewalk. We don't have time to be inconvenienced by someone else's hardship. Which means we don't have time to feel what it feels like to be the truth of who we are. Service requires availability. And I'm not talking about service that came through your email because somebody needed $5 for a thing. I'm talking about the kind of service that is right here in front of you as you walk down the street. As you're at a red light and everybody behind you is honking, but this guy needed $1 and you're still digging in your purse and you stop anyways to give the $1. We have to make ourselves available for love to move us in right action. How many times have I talked with folks in this community and beyond saying, I felt this nudge to do this thing. I heard God ask me to do a thing. I felt called to do a thing, but I didn't do it. I was too busy. I didn't know how to make time for it. I couldn't figure out how to fit it into my day. I was scared. If we want to meet the longing of our hearts, of our souls, we have to make ourselves available to it and be willing to follow its lead. When it says stop and pull over and check, you do it. Even if it makes you late to the next thing. That's the way Spirit gets more active here on earth, through our lives, our hands, our feet, our eyes. And finally, really important piece of this service puzzle is rest. Yes, I'm talking to you. Rest so that we can give from overflow. So that we can understand ourselves to have the capacity, the resources in us to meet the need that's in front of us. When we are rested, when we are nourished in ourselves, when the need arises, we have what it takes to meet it. From a place of love, not with resentment and not from obligation, I'm a good spiritual person, but because you have filled your cup with this awareness of the truth of yourself, the love that you are, and that fullness has everything you need to meet whatever is yours to meet. You got to make yourself available and interruptible. You have to set the loving intention that these hands are holy instruments, that this heart is the heart of God beating in my chest. And you have to be willing to first feed yourself, rest yourself, so that you can be available to the one life that you are a member of. So that's your homework. I'm going to be available, I'm going to have a loving intention, and I'm going to rest. I'm going to close today with this prayer. Love, use me. These hands are yours, these feet are yours, this breath is yours. Let my life become your prayer in motion. Wherever I walk, may peace follow. Wherever I touch, may more love be revealed. Whatever I see, may I see it with love's eyes. So it is.